Hey there, welcome to the Life and Transitions Experts podcast. And as the intro stated, or if you're checking this out on YouTube and there's not an intro, letting you know here, this is the community, the space where we are dedicated to helping families, helping people through some of those toughest transitions in their life, whether that be through selling a property or a house, through working in estate planning, or perhaps you find yourself having to execute or administer a probate estate and what's going on there. My main focus is helping families with the houses and the stuff that comes with the houses, helping them manage those, helping them come up with solutions that will either help serve their families in taking care of whatever their needs are as far as the heirs are concerned, or if we're blessed to still be in this earth and living, and if there needs to be some type of solutions that can come from the real estate or from the property, I'm here to help create solutions so that folks can either stay in their properties for longer or monetize those properties and perhaps turn those funds and that money into support for long-term care for our seniors and our loved ones, or other options that may be available. My job is to help look at those tough, sticky situations and help find solutions. So that is what we're here for. And so I'm in Durham, Durham, North Carolina. And one of the privileges of being in Durham, North Carolina is that definitely a growing city, rich history, the Triangle area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. I went to school at UNC Chapel Hill, Go Hills. It's a great, beautiful space that a lot of people are migrating back to. But it still has that North Carolina feel and appeal. And that translates to some of the agencies, like governmental agencies. And so I call myself the Durham County certified probate expert, not because I say that I know everything in probate. In fact, disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving financial or legal advice, but I am giving my opinion through my time and experience working with folks. And that's part of the reason why I do claim the title expert, because it's a process. And so being able to be in a small town, a small area, part of my process of learning in probate so that I can help add value to people's space is visiting the clerk's office, getting to know the deputy clerks, the assistant clerk, the clerks, everyone down there, getting to know the process, sitting in on actual probate cases so that I widen my aperture and my experience and things that I've seen. And so one of those things is heading down there. It was so awesome. Thank you, assistant clerk Ashley Harmon, for sharing the steps 2 and 3 in a large estate. And so that's what we're going to look at today. And so let me actually share my screen, because um, we'll just review some of those steps. Actually, I'll just share with you, and then there will be a link in the seller notes to this actual. Oh, that's great. I should be doing that from the beginning, but to this actual article. So every podcast that I share, there is an accompanying article at estateproservice.com/blog. I probably should change the name to podcast or something like that. But if you want to see old episodes, you can always go there or go to Spotify, Apple, or wherever you're getting your podcasts, right? So at any rate, at the time of the appointment of a personal representative, which is the executor or the administrator, depending on if someone passed away with a last will and testament, or if they died intestate, meaning they don't have a last testament to leave, then you're going to find out at that first appointment whether you are what type of legal proceeding are you going through. Is this a small estate that requires different procedure, not as comprehensive as a large estate or not? And that's determined at this time by the total value of the assets that are in the estate. At this time, the threshold's over 30,000, but it also depends on when the decedent actually passed away. Check out old episodes to see more about that. But some of the steps, so large estate. So after that, step one's taken care of. You figured out that you've given your letters of qualification as a representative or the administrator. Now, step two, large estate. Now, this is due 90 days after your qualification of the personal representative. You're going to complete the inventory form, AOCE 505. Now, I have a cheat sheet that we provided. I just did a video on it, I think a couple of days ago. Time is flying by, but go check it out. And it's directly, again, from the court office, that's detailed out, that's annotated in pen. And so what I did was just break it down and try to go through each of those steps to hopefully provide some value for you. Now, please note in that section, you're going to be providing the values of some accounts and assets. It's the value at the date of the death. And make sure that you're also providing any other proof that that these are the values at that date of the death. All right. You also, during this next step, you'll be collecting and gathering any signature cards from the banks and other places that show that these banks had joints with rights of survivorship, or letters on bank letterhead that indicate what the actual status of the account is when it comes to what's going to happen next, how it needs to be deeded over or titled over, I should say. The filing fee, just note, they take their filing fees in cash, they take them in certified check, they take them in morning order, and they take them, and credit cards, but they do not accept personal checks. So please make sure that you have either cash, certified check, money order, or credit card ready when you head down there. Now, the filing fee is going to be 0.4% of, well, 40 cents to every $100 with a minimum of $15. So the least amount you'll pay is $15, but you calculate that by taking a look at that inventory sheet, total out the bottom, and just multiply that by 0.004 to know what you're expected to pay at this step in the filing process. All right. Let's go on to step 3. Now, this is due usually a year within the date that the estate was opened. And this is hopefully the final accounting. Sometimes if you have to extend it out, you have to do an annual accounting every year of the estate. So hopefully you get this wrapped up beforehand. But these cases, there are cases, I wish I could say it was an anomaly, but there are cases that do extend out more than a year, more cases that I'm sure Durham would like, and the people going through them probably would like. But it's form AOC E505. And you'll fill that form out. I need to do a video on actual filling out the final accounting form. And yeah, I just need to look that up there. But make sure you're going to indicate whether that's a final accounting or if you're doing an annual accounting because of whether the stipulations or what's going on in the actual state. Make sure, of course, you provide all values, right? All values listed. It's, bank accounts, cancels, checks. You're going to need receipts from all heirs that they actually receive their distribution. So they're all going to have to sign off. And then, of course, you need to provide all releases from claims from any company or anyone who filed a claim against the estate. And then, or you can present like canceled check images showing the full amount of the claim being paid. So if they didn't see your release, you can show that, hey, this check shows that I paid it. Also, during part of the notice to creditors stage that you would have done during step 1, you'll in this step 3, you're going to include the publisher's affidavit from whatever newspaper you use for the notice to creditors. You can also provide you can get a copy of this from the actual publisher. And then that's the complete the form for the affidavit of notice to creditors. That's AOCE 307. And if you're looking, there's again, I'll have this link here, and you can click on that link to be able to I have all these hyperlink, all these forms I'm discussing. Just click on the hyperlink and you can grab it, or just hit me up and I'll make sure that you have it. You're going to show that the funeral arrangements and cremation bill was paid, in full, and there's 0 balance. And again, remember that when you're filing in this stage, that it's going to be cash, certified check, money order, or credit card, no personal checks. And at this point, the filing fee is again 0.4 cents of whatever $100 is. So of $100. So whatever it was in step 2, you're going to be filing again in step 3, depending on if things got, and depending on if you had to make additions or changes or edits, and the minimum is $15. And yeah, so on that form you'll be able to look at part 3 of the form of the inventory sheet or accounting sheet and multiply that by 0.004 to get that information. Now, please note, all these due dates are your responsibility as the personal representative, but they are very, very understanding in the clerk's office. So if you need extension, just give them a call. The number, if you want to call them directly, is 919-808-3004. You can also come here and just click on AOC E515 to request an extension. But now note, if you miss dates and you're not filing the extension, then they will ask the sheriff to serve. And each time the sheriff has to come down to your home, they're going to charge $30 in addition to the filing fee. So make sure that you just go ahead and fill out the extension, give them a call, and they'll be understanding. Okay. Now note, all signatures must be original. They're not accepting any copies, faxed, or scanned. And they're not going to give you legal advice down there. One of the reasons they've been gracious enough to let me be in those spaces is, although I'm not an attorney or lawyer giving any legal advice, I do provide services where I connect you to some of the attorneys and state professionals that I've been fortunate enough to work with or know in this area, and been able to connect a lot of people and help streamline so that you're not wasting too much time inside the attorney's office during administrative lag that actually continues to add and build on to the actual bill, depending on, your deal structure or your structure of your agreement with your attorney. So anyways, I help you spend less time with the attorney in there, but get the quality that you need from the attorney so that you can get this thing taken care of, because it's not, as we know, it's not necessarily a fun thing. Okay. All right, folks. So there it is. That's steps 2 and 3 for a large estate. If you need any support or help, really anywhere in the nation, have a connection to National Registry of a network of estate professionals that we meet at least twice a week to learn, discuss, and just build our craft. As I said, I'm very serious about gaining expertise and mastery so that again, I help a lot more folks out there. All right, this is Courtney Rollins. Rising tides, it lifts all sails.